The second key pattern is guilt and shame. Now, when I'm talking about guilt and shame, I'm not talking about eating that extra piece of chocolate cake kind of guilt. I also want to say that just because these two negative emotions, guilt and shame, are put together, does not mean they're the same, and they are really not the same thing. Guilt can exist without shame, and shame can exist without guilt. Guilt and shame can also work together, so that either guilt fuels shame or shame fuels guilt. Now, guilt involves the recognition that something you did, an action or failure to act or the thought of action, has caused harm to someone else. Guilt is usually accompanied by feelings of remorse or regret for what you did, and it often involves a desire to make things right by making amends. Guilt happens when you regret your actions. Shame happens when you feel frustrated and humiliated to be yourself. And shame destroys self-esteem as well. When you feel shame, it's because you feel that a part of who you are is basically bad. Instead of regretting what you did, you regret your very essence, which you've determined to be bad. Now, people with this pattern often are holding on to old secrets that they're afraid to share. So guilt and shame can be contagious energies. If we don't clear the guilt and shame we carry, we're likely to pass guilt and shame on to others. Not only that, guilt leads to lowered healing energies. In fact, negative emotions are not safe for the body. And there's been over 40,000 case studies that show that negative emotions actually cause dis-ease in the body, and I mispronounced that word purposefully. Guilt and shame are often related to sexual issues as well. The key is learning to forgive in order to clear this pattern. And on a positive note, guilt does have the ability to help you in your own growth so that you make a different choice in the future. So take some time to consider what experiences you've had with this key pattern of guilt and shame, and if this is a significant pattern for you. And more importantly, are you ready to forgive yourself? Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness. Now, this Hawaiian word translates into English simply as correction. At the core of Dr. Hugh Lin's perspective on Ho'oponopono is the idea of taking responsibility for more than your personal self, because you're in me and I'm in you. So his way of expressing Ho'oponopono contains an awareness that the discord we find in ourselves and in the world outside ourselves is actually due to errors in thought stored in our personal and collective memories, programs, and patterns. Now, Ho'oponopono is actually a very simple process. And the actual Ho'oponopono's clearing process consists of the repetition of the following phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And say it like you mean it. Thank you. And it doesn't really matter who or what you're thanking. Thank your body for all it does for you. Thank yourself for being the best that you can be. Thank the universe. Thank whatever it was that just forgave you. Just keep saying thank you. I love you. Say I love you to the air that you breathe, to the house that shelters you. Say I love you to your challenges. Say it over and over and over again. Mean it. Feel it. There's nothing as powerful as love. It's simple and amazingly effective. And please also note the importance of forgiveness and gratitude. Forgiveness by itself creates an imbalance. If you forgive another person, it still implies that they've done something against you. When you offer gratitude or thanks for the experience, you can then appreciate that the personal situation was created for your own growth and learning. You can then also appreciate that you created the opportunity for growth and learning.